After reading the title of this video, you may think to yourself, Castlevania Collection just came out, why is he reviewing a game from 2010? Well, Castlevania Harmony of Despair is a game I got when it first came out, 9 years ago now? And I have to say, it's an instant classic that is never talked about. It's severely underacknowledged. The people must know. On top of that, it just recently became backwards compatible on Xbox One. So if you don't have it, you can actually go on the Xbox Store or the PS3 Marketplace, and it's only 15 bucks. Well worth it. Well worth it. Harmony of Despair tells the story of a cursed book called the Grimoire, in which the entire history of Castlevania is recorded. Once the book is opened, the castle comes to life within the pages, and the heroes of Castlevania's past come together to fight against Dracula and his hordes. Minimal story, but it doesn't really matter in this game. It's just a fun way to bring in multiple aspects of the Castlevania universe together in one game, kind of like the Avengers of Castlevania. There's a bunch of characters to pick from. You could pick classic 8-bit Simon, Alucard, Jonathan Morris, Soma Cruz, Shanoa, and there's DLC characters and stages to download that were made available long ago and are actually worth paying for. It really extends the life of the game in a fun way. There's so much great content here. I mean, there's even a level based on the original map from NES Castlevania. This is definitely my favorite one. The gameplay itself is a ton of fun. If you've played Symphony of the Night or any Metroidvania style game, the level designs are similar. You explore your environment taking multiple different pathways, and you attempt to get from point A to point B while fighting tons of monsters along the way. One aspect of this game that is something I usually hate is that you are timed. But rest assured, it's usually enough time to explore calmly without rushing to the goal, and trust me, exploration here is key. It'll likely take several tries before successfully beating a stage, since each character is fairly weak at their starting points, but that's where much of the fun comes in. Games like Borderlands are described as looter shooters, experiences that require you to constantly find better equipment to keep increasing all your stats for your character. And this works in that same way. There's chests hidden throughout each level that contain items you can equip that'll increase attack, defense, other stats that slowly make your character stronger. And they also contain gold that you can use to buy more items that can help, like a super potion that replenishes your health. But you can only equip one consumable item, otherwise the game would be too easy. I can't count how many times I struggled through a level, made it to the boss, and then died because I was running on fumes by the time I got there, having used up my one health item already. But the game encourages you to replay levels over and over, learning the best way to get to the boss room. It reminds me of those little mazes that you find in coloring books, where you have to draw a line to the finish. It's kind of like that. That's the easiest way to describe this game. Some might consider that frustrating, but once the boss is destroyed, it's an incredibly satisfying feeling. All the bosses are pulled directly from various different Castlevania titles, leading up to the final confrontation with the big bad Dracula.
This long slumber has given me strength.
Unless you did download the DLC, which adds full levels and new bosses afterwards. And Dracula is quite the challenge. He's armed with familiar attacks and some new original ones just for this game. This time Dracula's packed with 3 forms, pulled from Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. The first one being his regular vampire form from Symphony, then the big monster demon form from that same game and Rondo of Blood, ending with the giant demonic chair thing. I never knew what this was. I always called it the giant demon chair. And yes, he is tough. While this game is still fun by yourself, it's an absolute blast to play with others, and that's how I recommend that you play it. The PS3 version has 4-player local co-op. Sadly, that was never a feature that was implemented in the Xbox version, but both versions do have up to 6-player online co-op. It's awesome. I recently tried jumping into an online game, and it did take a little while to find someone still playing the game, but I got lucky and I did find someone, and I ran through a couple levels with them working together, taking different pathways and meeting up and taking down the boss. Playing with others doesn't make the game easy, but it makes the journey to the boss room much more manageable. Getting a room full with 5 other players is a sight to behold. You can zoom in and out of the map to see where everyone's located, and zooming out really helps display the sheer scale of the maps and helps you plan out what your path is going to be. It's an awesome, chaotic mess with everyone running around assaulting Dracula's castle, and I hope this game does regain some of that online traffic now that it is backwards compatible. I lost entire nights playing through these stages over and over again, and I sure would love to do that again. Like I said before, if you're a Castlevania fan, this game is a must-have. It's full of replayability. So if you've got an extra $15 laying around, that's like 2 McDonald's meals. Go buy this game. Please do yourself a favor and download it. You won't regret it. But that's all I've got for you today. Review on the collection's coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button with all of your strength. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on social media or go into my community tab for updates. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel directly on Patreon. This is Fabian, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.